What's going on, YouTube family? Welcome back to the channel, guys. Just wanted to obviously recap the big time L we just took on Saturday against the you-know-who's, and I mean, absolutely pathetic performance. Pathetic performance. Watching it live, I had to go back and do a double take because I had originally thought, I thought we played pretty solid in the first half. I was like, okay, first half was solid. Second half, I don't know what happened. We just blew the game. The first half, first half showed me some things. Then I went back and turned on the tape. Went back, turned it on. And let me tell you guys, we got dominated, absolutely dominated for 4 quarters against those guys. I mean, we could not do a thing. Couldn't run, couldn't pass, couldn't throw, couldn't catch, couldn't block. It was absolutely pathetic. I mean, one of the worst performances I've seen in a long, long time. Abysmal is a word that comes to mind. Abysmal. Somebody said, "Hey, what's abysmal mean?" I would say, "Hey, go watch that Tennessee offense last week. Go watch those guys. That's what abysmal." And we couldn't do a thing. And I don't understand. I mean, the offensive line, by gosh, well, they want all these nicknames, Tennessee Valley Authority. Also, let me tell you, you guys go out there, you couldn't do a thing against those guys. Hey, what do we say? We anticipated, hey, you know what? They got some athletic guys. Maybe they'll beat us with speed, right? Maybe they'll beat us with speed here and there a few times. But never did we imagine that they would just maul our guys the way they did. I mean, they beat us with speed, beat us with power, beat us with creativity, beat us with just straight up just running right by us. I mean, it was absolutely unbelievable. I don't care who you are. That whole entire offensive line, I don't care, from Trey Smith to Kay to Wanye to Darnell to Brandon Kennedy. Who else? All those guys. Okay? The tight ends? Come on. Kidding me? Guys can do a thing. And here's the thing. What's this whole deal about not blocking the end man on the line of scrimmage? I mean, I don't really care what the situation is. I mean, unless you're doing an RPO, right, or something of the nature where maybe it behooves you to leave a guy unblocked. Maybe it behooves you. Unless it's that type of situation, why? I feel like every play pretty much we're leaving the end guy unblocked, and I don't understand, dude. Even on that daggum 4th and 1, that daggum 4th and 1, we need a half a foot to get it. Okay, we're in our heavy set. We leave the end man unblocked. We leave him unblocked, and guess who blows the play up in the backfield? Almost gets us for a loss. The daggum end that we didn't block. And if you go watch the game, you'll see it happen all throughout. If you go watch any other game that we've had this season, pretty much where we got tackled in the backfield, it was because why? Because we did not block the end man. That's why. We didn't block the end man. And I just don't get it. You gotta block the guy, because if you leave him unblocked, guess what they're trying to do? They're just going to kind of hug that tackle that doesn't block him, or whoever the tight end doesn't block him. They're going to hug his butt. And even if the play goes away, they're going to hug his butt and run right into the play. And beat the running back to the hole. It happened several times. Go watch the film. So that's something that really irks me. It's easy to get on Chaney about creativity, but you know what? If you look back at the daggum game, we couldn't block anybody. When you can't block anybody, when you can't run the ball, you really can't get too creative. You can't do anything. We plan A was, hey, let's see if we can run it. Couldn't do it. Okay, well, hey, let's see if we can, maybe we can pass it. We came out actually had a little bit of success passing it. JG was 11 of 14 in the first half. We'll talk about him a little bit later. Had 120 something yards, 2 touchdowns. So it was solid. But it wasn't something we could sustain without a running game, without the third of a running game. And then we say, okay, well, let's run some screens. We ran a few screens. They got blown up in the backfield. So, what could you do? I guess, go to some trick plays or something. That wasn't going to work either. So, we didn't have a chance. We looked awful. We looked terrible. We looked disgustingly bad, and it really just. It's disappointing. It's so disappointing because you expected so much more from this team. You expect them to at least put up a showing. Okay, I don't know if anyone really expected us to go undefeated this year, right? We probably knew we were going to lose a game or two, maybe 3, right? But for us to go out there and not even compete, we weren't competitive. Now, defensively is a different story. We'll talk about that later. But just talking about the offensive side of the ball, I mean, we just looked really bad. JG, people talk about him. Well, like I said, he had a good first half. I don't know how, but he did. Made some good throws down the field to Palmer. Palmer made some great catches. I mean, he was accurate. He was running for his life. Go back and watch it, dude. He was running for his life out there, trying to make things happen. And it's just tough whenever you have no time. You have 0 time, and receivers are covered. Most of the time, our receivers were covered, like even if you had time and nobody was open. So, I mean, what could the guy do? Now, I know people want to blame him, and there is some blame for JG for sure because you can't turn the ball over. I don't care really what the pass rush is like. You can't fumble it 3 times. I know only 2 of them were turnovers, but you can't fumble it 3 times, and then that was a bad pick he threw. Even though it was a lot of pressure, sometimes he's got to take the sack. And that's something, too, though, we've gotten on JG about is he takes too many sacks. Well, he tries to avoid the sack by doing really the only thing he could do, which was throw it up for grabs, and it got grabbed. The other team picked off. So, I don't know. I just don't know there's much more the guy could have done. But, like we say, if you can avoid turning the ball over, you might give yourself a chance. And so people want to talk about, well, should we make a change at quarterback? Well, I mean, I guess we could. But, I mean, what's it really going to solve? I don't know if we have anybody in that roster that's going to give us a better chance than JG. I mean, you talk about Brian Maurer, you say, well, Maurer's a guy, he'll take chances, and sometimes those chances, they lead to points, they lead to positive plays, positive yards. A lot of times they lead to turnovers, and so you'll get more turnovers with him. You might get more points too, though. So I mean, what are you willing to give to get? And you look at, of course, he'll also get hurt. He gets hurt every freaking time he gets hit. So the way we were blocking Saturday, he wouldn't last a game probably. Didn't last a game last year, I don't think. And then going to JT Stroud, I think he's probably the most sound option right now. From what I saw from last year, he seems like he's ready. He can make the throws. He can make the checks. Maybe give him a shot. And, of course, Harrison Bailey's the guy who's not ready to play yet. I know you guys heard about the young guy scrimmage. He took every snap, of course, and maybe they're trying to get him ready. Who knows? Hopefully he is who we hope he is. Hopefully he's the savior we've been looking for this program. But I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. We haven't seen any game action from him. We'd love to see him in the game. We'd love to see him. And you just hope that maybe we can find ways to work in some other quarterbacks in these next few weeks. I know we got Alabama in a couple weeks. I mean, I don't know if we're able to do it then, but just see what we have, man. Just see what we have. And not to say, like I said, I've been defending JJ. I don't think he necessarily played bad, but the turnovers, which we weren't doing anything offensively anyway, but the turnovers made the score worse than it was. Worse. Like, we were in the game. Like I said, we were dominated. So I think that the score actually is a pretty accurate reflection of how bad they beat us. But we need something to happen, man. We need to have a great week of practice. We need to come out here against Kentucky and show everybody that, you know what, this team is still on the come up. We're still showing progress. O-line needs to go out here and dominate. This is a good D-line we're playing against, so another opportunity for them to come out and perform and show that they can move people, because they didn't move anybody last week. And so I want to see some improvement here, man. I want to see some improvement here offensively. We have a long way to go. Hopefully we can start working in some more freshmen like Weidman and those guys. Some guys that maybe have a little bit more creativity to them, a little bit more wiggle and burst, that can get separation against tight man coverage and can do things and go make plays over people. But, I mean, just an abysmal performance. We had a few good plays offensively, right? The touchdown passes to Palmer, a couple nice throws across the middle, but just overall just pathetic, absolutely pathetic. So offense gets an F minus to the 20th millionth power, in my opinion. And here's the thing: I know Georgia's got a good defense and all this, and people want to say they're the best in the country. Maybe they are. We made them look like it on Saturday. I tell you that, they look like it. We'll see it look like that this week against Bama. But against us, they sure, yeah. If I was from Mars and that was the only time I saw Georgia's defense, I'd say, wow, this is probably the best defense on this planet right here. So we'll see if that holds up. I didn't think they looked that impressive against Arkansas. I didn't watch a ton of the Auburn game. But, I mean, Auburn put up points. They moved the ball. And that's with the, kind of no identity offensively. So, I don't know, man. It's just very disheartening to see that. So, we'll see if we look better. We look solid the first 2 weeks. You say competition was definitely a step down, but we looked like we were competent and we could do things offensively. So, we'll see if we can get back to that this week. But defensively, I think we played very well, especially considering we had our backs up against the wall a lot of the time, and we were able to stuff them on a couple of short yard situations. D-line played above their heads, I feel like. Elijah Simmons wasn't getting moved around in there. He was a nice, steady force for us, and then they cheap shot him with the illegal chop block. I mean, stuff like that's unbelievable, but that's Georgia for you. I think our backers played well, especially Henry T. He had a great game, but we're still, pass coverage is an issue. And if I'm scheming us up, I think definitely you attack the middle of the field for sure. Schamberger came in. He was solid. He gave up the touchdown pass across the middle over a busted assignment. He got confused when the back motion out of the backfield, and he lets the slot run right up the middle of the field for a touchdown. And then, obviously, the first third down play of the game, they ran a slant, and he got beat inside. He was tight on the guy, but he got beat inside. But other than that, I don't know if he really got beat. From what I saw, it might have been another player too, but I mean, he was solid for the most part. But we expected him to be rushed and played in however long, so that's to be expected. Expect to see him improve. So I'm not worried about Schamberger, but just our pass coverage in general. I think Bryce Thompson's solid. He's where he needs to be. He's covering guys. Should have had a pick on Darnell Washington, but PI. Tank McCullough still seems lost out there. He had a good play early on, knocking that ball loose. Big hit on that guy. Loved that play, but I think overall he's still a little lost. Run support, he's too slow to show, too slow to get off blocks, too slow to make tackles. Tackling, I think, needs to improve. They were getting too many yards on plays when we had it bottled up, plays that we should have stopped for little to no gain, and they ended up breaking it for first downs a lot of times. So stuff like that we got to clean up. But like I said, overall, defense looked good. I like Morgan Joseph. He got a few snaps in there. Saw him. My first time seeing him this season. Very athletic guy. Kind of interesting the way they used him. They didn't really use him as a traditional outside backer, from what I could see. He was like always in a 2-point stance. There was one time he was even in the middle. I think he was playing inside backer. I gotta go back and watch it. I think he was playing inside backer. But all he does is rush the passer when he gets in there. But I mean, he's very athletic. He ends up chasing the play down 10 yards down the field, making a tackle. Very athletic guy. I expect to see him more. He's definitely going to help us out this year before it's over. I guarantee you that. But yeah, more freshmen. Amari Thomas, I want to see more of him. I don't know if I saw him at all in the game. Heard Tamarion McDonald look really good in the young guy scrimmage. Pruitt singled him out as a guy that actually stood out. And he hasn't been able to play or practice, I guess, in a while. I think he had an injury or something. So good to have him back. Of course, want to see some Keyshawn Lawrence. He might help us out. And maybe he comes in and starts that other corner. I mean, Alontae Taylor, for as good as he played week 1, he really frustrates you sometimes. And he wasn't terrible. He wasn't terrible, but he frustrates you with some of the things he does. And I think we can upgrade there. I really do. And, Kenneth George he's pretty solid in coverage for the most part, but inconsistent as well. So I don't know, and we just need help, guys. We need a lot of help. We have talent, but as the inconsistency is what is mind-boggling and it's a head-scratcher. I know we had the whole weird off-season, but a lot of these guys have been in the system for 3 years now, and you expect to see some type of, they at least know what to do. They're not getting beat on busted assignments. They're not confused out there, right? They're not making these mental mistakes, and there's things that just can be easily avoidable. And so we need to clean it up. Pruitt needs to do a better job of that. The whole staff needs to do a better job of that. And that's one thing I will say is we still make way too many mental mistakes for it to be year 3 with the same scheme defensively. But all that being said, as bad as the game was, everything we want is really still in front of us, right? We got to control what we can control, and that's how we prepare every week and the team we play each weekend. So we got to go out here this week against Kentucky, get back on track, go out here and win, and hopefully win convincingly, dominate, come out here for a purpose, run the ball, get pissed off and run the ball right down these guys' throats if we can. Maybe get a little lead and then, say, hey, okay, can we get a little pass game going? And just kind of work that a little bit more, and because we're going to need that against Alabama. We're going to need to be able to throw the ball. Even though Bama looks pretty weak in the interior, I think we need to be able to pass it and put up points in a hurry against those guys, especially with how our pass defense has been looking lately. But I mean, heck, if we went out and, hopefully Georgia goes out here and loses this weekend, and maybe they lose again when they play Florida, who knows? And we could still sneak into the daggone SEC championship. And here's the thing: that's not really my expectation, and I never expected this to be the year we would go out and play for a SEC title. 2021 was always the year, in my opinion, that it was a realistic possibility. But I mean, it could happen, And so let's not act like the sky's falling just yet. I know it feels like it with how bad we played, especially if you go back and really dissect it frame by frame. I mean, we got handled. But I'm going with the I guess kind of thought process that we just had a bad game. Just like against Georgia State last year, we had a really bad game. We just had a bad game, and this happened was against one of the best teams in the country, and they embarrassed us out there. So hopefully we can turn around. Hopefully it was just an anomaly. Hopefully we don't see that type of performance again from this team, and we get this thing going, because that was a big-time recruiting weekend. We wanted to go out there and put out a good showing. I don't think we did. Mims was in attendance. Seems like he's all Georgia now. He's been reposting Georgia stuff and all types of stuff. So I think he's probably going to Georgia. We probably lost out on him. Smile Munden maybe as well. I think he reposted some stuff from the game as well. And Nyland Green was in attendance. So, wasn't a great weekend for us at all. And here's the thing, guys. If we don't finish this season off, it's going to really hurt our recruiting. If anything else was evident, or if nothing else was evident on Saturday, it was that we still have a long way to go from a talent perspective, which we knew that going in, but that definitely put it on full display. We just need more, guys. We need bigger, stronger backs that can break tackles. We need better O-linemen, even though O-linemen are phenomenal. It's weird saying that, but we need guys that ain't going to nut up under pressure. I feel like pressure got to this team. They were nervous at the moment. We need better quarterback play. We need better receivers that can get loose and make plays, create, and do things. I think we have those guys on the roster, but they're freshmen, most of them. Palmer's a stud, but the rest of those guys got to prove it to you. Brandon Johnson's been solid for us. I think we need even bigger, stronger, meaner guys on defense. Defense played well, but we still need bigger, beefier, meaner, faster guys. More of them. We need more of them. We need more, and more. And here's the thing. I think a lot of guys are already on the roster. A lot of guys are young, freshmen, and all that, but we just need more, guys. We need more. And so we don't want to lose out on our recruiting momentum by having that type of performance. And if this continues to snowball, we're going to lose out on a lot of guys. Look for a lot of guys who have committed, these T. Lewis's and those guys to decommit. Even Dylan Brooks. I think Dylan Brooks is solid, but, he's a guy that, comes to mind. You see how big he is now. So he's about 6'5", 270 now, and he looks phenomenal out there. Can't wait to get him on the roster. He's an immediate impact guy. But we don't want to lose this momentum, man. We don't want to, this momentum we have recruiting. We don't want to have these guys decommit, and some of these targets that we have a chance to get, we don't want to see them go elsewhere because we don't look like we're progressing. Because you want to see progress in year 3. I think we felt like we saw it. Looking at the second half of last season and leading to this season, you say, okay, it seems looking pretty solid. We looked kind of rough against South Carolina, but against Missouri, we looked like we were getting better and better. We expect to see us continue to improve against Georgia. We did not do that. And so can we pick up where we left off after the Missouri game, and can we continue that and look dominant against Kentucky? Kentucky's a good team. They are. I don't think that a lot of people feel like this is going to be an automatic blowout. I don't think this is that type of game. I didn't feel that way about Missouri either. But Kentucky, they could easily be 3-0. Heck, they probably should beat Auburn. They outgained them, everything. Arkansas, same thing, outgained them, everything. Ole Miss. I don't think outgained Ole Miss. I doubt they did. They might have. I don't know. But that game went to overtime and they lost. On a basically an extra point or whatever. So they could be 3-0. Dominated Mississippi State, 6 interceptions. So this is a game we got to come up and perform, and I think it's a big game for us, biggest game we've had in a long time. So that's my thoughts on it, man. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts about it below. How do you feel about this team? Do we have a chance to get this thing righted? Should we make a QB change? Who do you go with? Are you guys okay with us losing a few games? We make a change at QB, we lose a few games, getting that guy broken in, and maybe we're a better team at the end of the season because of it. Is that a route that we should take? Is that a route that makes sense to you guys? I'd love to hear your thoughts about it below. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video.